Good day, Bravehearts. I'm Dr. Darrell Wolf, and welcome to the Doc of Detox show. And today we're going to be talking about human rights, okay? But understand something. You're never going to have human rights because guess what? You decided that you would hang around and you would listen to anybody, right? Because we're all so desperately wanting what? Approval? And we take things personal, so we will do anything, be anyone, and then we wonder why our life sucks. And right now, we are in trouble, aren't we, George?
Holy jumping. Are we ever?
Yeah, well, I'm not in trouble. You're not in trouble. We're down in Mexico, and if I can say something, George, last night we went out to have some guacamole, and it was probably around 10:30 at night. Nobody had masks on. People were out there dancing. Actually, we were at this restaurant just over here, about 3 minutes away, and we were outside. But even the people inside, nobody was coming on to us about masks or anything like that. And everybody's got to know something, right, George? Is guess what? The government just said, we are not going to force vaccination on our people. We are not going to force vaccination passports. And that's why we're in Mexico. But I wanted to come to Mexico 3 years ago. So understand, when you're quiet enough and when you love yourself enough and you say, this is what I need, you've got to be selfish enough to know what you need and where you want to be and who you are, or you'll never find your authentic self. And you know what George is doing right now? Working 16 hours a day. You better slow down. But he's working 16 hours a day to even 18 hours a day. I'm not making this up. He's the executive director of Canadian Rights Watch, but they're not stopping there. They're going to be moving into the States too, because guess what? We're all family. But the reality is, George, please hire someone as smart as you. Al, listen. So you got to get this. We're going to talk about what's really going on, because what's going on in Canada is going on around the world. Okay?
Absolutely.
All right. So take it away, George.
Well, I mean, it's clear what's happening.
What's happening?
In the country. Everybody is getting threatened with, no jab, no job. And if you don't want to do the jab and you don't want to give us a doctor's note and you don't want to watch the video, then we're going to have to test you 2 or 3 times a week. This is absurd. Now, that is a way to keep the hook in the fish's mouth, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know what? And he's going to be talking on one end of it, and I'm going to talk on the other end of it. And this is why you got to find your authentic self, find your passion, find your purpose, and be an independent. Okay? All right? Are we done, what's the word? Sucking off the tit of the government. Because the government is poisonous, and they're poisoning us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, what Trudeau's saying is poisonous.
Yeah.
We're living in Germany, 1937. I mean, how many people are calling me every day with anxiety issues, panic issues? They've been up all night crying because the uncertainty has permeated their front doors.
And the other thing is, guess what? They did it on purpose. Did you ever hate someone that you just wanted to terrorize them until you make them break down and cry, or you put them into an anxiety? And once they're in anxiety, you keep them there long enough, guess what? You create the brain to go on fire. Then you go into depression. When you go into depression, then you need meds, and then you can't think straight, and then you'll do anything, you'll eat anything, you'll say anything. George.
That's a very interesting point, and I'm glad you raised it, because what the listeners need to understand, and for those of you who have called us, talking about your anxiety, you've got to understand, depression is actually a healthy state of mind. It only becomes unhealthy when you interrupt its course. All depression is signaling you of is that things can no longer be the way they have been. So if you
unless you want to stroke out,
right?
If you'd like to stroke out or have a heart attack.
But change is needed.
Yeah,
change is needed.
Yeah, it is.
So if you're resisting change, you're going to increase your depression. You're going to move from situational. You're going to move into clinical depression. Now you're altering brain chemicals. You need your serotonin as your information.
Well, that's gone.
Serotonin
Chemical will be gone. Dopamine will be gone. Yeah. And you'll be left being a dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have to call me because you won't know what to say.
Yeah, and then you're going to say, Dr. Wolf, why am I so emotionally and physically sick? And I'll say, because you've been running a sick program. And you'll say, what does that even mean? And I'll say, guess what? You're like most of people, and it's easy to program a human being because we only use there's somebody wanting his help. Help is on the way.
I'm sorry if you're watching, I hung up on you because I'm doing a show.
Yeah. So anyways, what happens is we got to get this. Everything happens in the invisible. So somebody can tell you something, and I got to tell you, everybody's got to get this. Okay? Can you not? Oh my gosh. What am I going to do with this guy? Can you
I just
not?
wanted to
Can
see
you
who was
not?
calling me.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So anyways. Okay, so just know this. You are where you are. You have the life you have because of the programs that you run. Now, if somebody's able to actually download a program and keep running that program long enough and strong enough, you'll take the jab, okay, because you won't want to lose your job. You will do whatever you are told to do, and you won't like what's going to happen. And
That's true.
But,
That's
but
true.
at the same point, I got to tell you, you're going, well, what do I do? I don't know what to do. Well, this is why I brought him on the show. This is why we're going to be on the show 2 to 3 times a week, right?
People need the information. I mean, it's tragic. When I get phone calls at 8 o'clock Saturday morning telling me that, George, I don't need the papers anymore from the law office. I'm going to take the jab. This is a person who's at their wit's end. They feel so much uncertainty in their lives. A single mom, 3 kids, bills to pay, and they have coerced and harassed her so much at work, she feels that there's no other choice. Consciousness is narrowed. We talked about cognitive closure on the ShiftNow.com with my other producer, Doug McKenty. We talked about cognitive closure. We're seeing it in droves today.
Wait.
People,
What's
hang on.
cognitive
People
closure?
Cognitive
Tell 'em what
closure
it
is that
is.
narrow thinking. Where fear doesn't allow you to see the peripheral answers to these questions. You feel you have no choice. You feel helpless. This is learned helpless. As a matter of fact, you have to understand the irony of being abused. You would think that the human being would never get near it again, but unfortunately what happens is when people are victimized extensively, they're being trained to feel helpless. And the more helpless a person feels, the less choices they believe that they have.
Can I say something?
They're worth less. Their worth goes down.
That's right. And here's the deal. It doesn't matter if it's a real tiger or a paper tiger. But this tiger has no teeth. But this is your government. This is medical tyranny. This is what they do to you. So whether or not it's real and the tiger's going to take a bite out of you, or you imagine it, your brain doesn't know the difference. So it's doing what we call hack. And what you're going to do is you're going to be hacking and coughing and sick pretty soon because of histamine, adrenaline, and cortisol. And it's never going to stop dripping into you. And it's going to eat your body away just like acid would eat anything else away. And guess what? Now you're on an acid trip that you can't stop.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And listen, I want to talk about this because there's one union.
I don't want you to.
In Canada.
I'm kidding.
Tough. There's one union in Canada right now who I'm very proud of, and that's the TPA. I've talked to various police officers, no names, and they were lacking a little bit of confidence in whether the TPA was going to stand up or not.
What's the TPA?
Toronto Police Association.
Thank you.
That is the Toronto Police Union, okay? They're the only union stepping up right now. Now, I know I heard murmurs about the TTC also doing the same thing, but OPSU
What's the
and
TTC?
QP, the Toronto Transit Commission.
I know that. They don't.
Okay, Toronto Transit Commission, if you guys had your passes and whatnot, many of you have called me about the abuse at work, the stress at work, the Waterloo bus drivers, same with you guys. We're watching, we're paying attention. All of you are experiencing these violations from your employers right now.
And they are violations. And please
100%.
explain why they are. You have rights.
So the last time anybody sat around the dinner table and talked about their human rights was 170 years ago. Nobody was alive in our era when that took place. So there's much that has been forgotten, but yet we are reliving it today. And you can bet, if you haven't even done the research, know that we are repeating history. Know that this is Germany 1937 to 1945. Know that that's going on because people are dying in a bulletless war.
That's right. And if I can say something, this is an invisible war and it's a spirit war. But the reality is guess what? You know the elite? Well, they're getting it right because repetition makes you into a master. And now they're a master blaster. and to understand something. We can't remember back then, but they learned from their lessons. Are you learning from your lessons yet? No, because we forgot, because history, it's his story. They took the real story and they made it into their story. You can't read a book on this planet that hasn't been changed around. There is nothing about truth, honesty, and liberation here.
Well, no, our own Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, is spreading all kinds of propaganda. Didn't he just say in the news that you won't be able to get on a plane or a bus or a train with us without this vax? I mean, go find the video, folks, on Canadian Rights Watch on Facebook, where Kilgore Rand and Doug McKenty and myself, we talk about the technocratic, totalitarian, global takeover. And in the first 7 minutes of that video, it's there right now, go watch it, and you will see what the actual aim is in the first 7 minutes of that video. And you all need to know that that's the end game. And if you don't think it's coming, and if you believe that the country's being run right now by Trudeau, that's deluded.
But how many people believe that 14 billion, 14 billion graphene oxide particles are going to improve your life? Because that's exactly what you're getting.
Well, there's no question everything that they're doing under the guise of health and safety isn't healthy, and nor is it safe.
Well, now you're a
If it
walking
were,
antenna.
we wouldn't be getting all these phone calls. People are starting to wake up and realize now there's something drastically wrong going on here. And I hate to say it, but some people are late. They were hoping, they thought it wasn't going to happen.
I hope
they
it's
were
going to
lying
turn
in
out.
bed. It was, maybe it won't, and now we're getting calls, late, and people now need the letters to defend themselves under informed consent, duty to accommodate, and your right to privacy. Don't forget that the Personal Health Information Protection Act does protect your private medical information. You are not obligated to divulge any of that stuff. And I know it says the government said and the ministry said.
Rules. Those are rules.
Those are rules and policies. Those are not laws. Those are not laws. A mandate is a couple of fellows going out for lunch. And mandates in Canada are not law.
Yeah.
You with me?
And you're paying for the lunch.
Yeah.
With your tax dollars. So just know that. Everybody, that $1 billion that little Justin just offered all the premiers across Canada, that whoever gets the most companies to vax people gets the lottery.
Well, there's no question that the people are being paid to do this. Dr. David Martin talked about this with Reiner Fuelmich, as a matter of fact, in a previous interview, where he spoke of the Immunization Partnership Fund, who are giving money. Yeah, that's right. They're giving money to these corporations.
Partnership Fund. Right. Yeah.
Why are they forcing? Why are they so overzealous about you getting the vaccine? Why are they having to convince us?
Do you
because there's no. Hang on. Let me finish the statement. There's no law. If they have the law, we can be calm about it. Say, listen, if you don't want to do this, you're breaking the law. You're going to get into trouble. Not, here's $5, here's an ice cream cone, 5 days off work, paid, we'll send you to Cuba, here's a cookie, or $250 extra on your pay. This incentive marketing plan is there to let you know that they don't have a law or any laws to support any of what they're doing. And I include in that genetic testing and the vax. None of those are allowed to be perpetrated on you without your informed consent. That means void of deceit, void of fraud, void of coercion, void of duress, any of those things. That's not informed consent. Our lawyers have made this clear to us, that if anybody has made a decision to sign anything or go forward and take a medical procedure that your doctor did not uphold your right to informed consent, that is not informed consent, and the doctor is not immunized from any liability under those terms and conditions.
Here's something I'd like you to think about, okay? And that's this. Maybe you don't know George and you don't know me, but if it meant that we had to wear 3 masks, if we had to get the vaccination to make our fellow family, friends, neighbors safer, we would have done it. This is not a human situation that's going on, because humans feel things. They have guilt. They have remorse. There's no remorse going on. It's not like these people are going to wake up today. Remember something. The reality is, if your family was an elitist, and they've been elitist since back in Jesus' time, do you understand? You believe something long and strong enough, you can never get them out of that. They believe they own this world. They believe that they own every human being, and that we are no more than cattle. And if you think that I'm kidding, then you're going to get a wake-up call in the next 12 months.
There's no question. Everybody is being steered in the direction of the government's narrative.
You have to get mentally healthy, and you've got to start eating healthy. Can I just say this, and you take it away, because this is really about your show today. But the reality is this: if you don't eat right and you don't think right, okay, you're not going to make it through the night. And that's why people can't sleep right. That's why they're in pain. That's why they got joint pain, arthritis. That's why their cancer's getting worse. That's why their asthma, their allergies. That's why families are fighting and squabbling. It's not a good situation.
It's not. It's horrible. I've got families breaking up all over the place. Marriages breaking up all over the place. There is so much insidious activity and conduct going on right now that people never expected would occur. But
Drip,
it's happening.
Drip, drip. That drip, think about it. It's been going on for what? Almost 20 months now, right?
Yep.
20 months of a drip.
Yep.
That drip.
2 weeks to flatten the curve.
That's
now
right.
you got to flatten the curve of the suicides. You got to flatten the curve of the economy. Who's going to flatten those curves? Addiction is on the rise. Marital abuse and spousal abuse is on the rise. Who's going to flatten those curves? We were told 2 weeks to flatten the curve. I want to say this. You employers who are loyal to the government and are injuring your staff, some of you have had your staff who have told me over the phone they've been your friends for 25, 30 years. And now you're losing these people because your loyalty is misplaced. You've got to ask yourself, go to the mirror, what side of history do you want to be on? Do you want to be on a side of history where a bioweapon is killing these people who've worked for your corporations forever and not do the right research and not get the proper answers, and you want to do this with impunity, as a matter of fact? I can tell you for sure there is a mounting presence in Canada right now. We can prove that. We can prove that people have had enough. Our federal correctional officers are standing up. The TTC is standing up. Nurses are standing up. Bankers are standing up. Teachers are standing up. And there is going to be a plethora of pushback, unlike anything we've ever seen before in Canada. So I'm very grateful that you people have had the courage to call us and take action. And I'm sorry it's costing you money. Freedom is not free right now. No. It just isn't free. And in wars, weapons do cost money, and we don't have guns. Our weapons are our voices, our computers, our pens, and our knowledge.
And standing up for ourselves and trying to get rid of false evidence appearing real, which is actually fear. And understand something, everybody. I get it, okay? Even you employers, okay? You know what? I'm going to tell you. The minute that I got here and I was able to actually hear with my ears and understand my father and my mother, they had such poverty consciousness. And the majority of the population believe that it's hard to make money, hard to make a living, life is a struggle. Guess what? And disease is normal. Disease is not normal. The same people that are doing this have created disease since the beginning of time. It means you're not at ease. And you're not going to be at ease unless you change the programs in your brain and listen to something different. And the reality is, until you know how to wake up in the morning, as soon as you open your eyes, that you are the master of your mind and that you are going to hold the line, and you watch what you put in your mind and put in your mouth. And if you don't do that, you should see what comes out of your mouth.
Very interesting. I mean, I'll add to that the fact that, one of my favorite writers, John Bradshaw, said years ago when he produced a PBS series called The Problem of the Wounded Inner Child, Homecoming. And he said on that stage, all the birds could be flying in the wrong direction. That's possible, at least. Then he goes on to show all kinds of evidence of just how true that really is. I understand that the majority of people believe or think or going along with the government's narrative is the best way to do things. However, the science doesn't say that.
when has the government ever done anything that, okay, I just want to say this. We didn't have, 24 months ago, we didn't have money for hospitals, for schools, for proper health care. Don't call hospitals proper health care anyways, but for proper schooling for our children. We don't have money for that. For our roads, for single mothers. We don't have money for that. No. We don't have money for people that are mentally or physically challenged. We don't have money for that.
No.
But now we've got billions of dollars to give away, and guess what? You know what? What's going to happen after this? We got to come together as a family, as an Earth family, because when they get done, by the time that we wake up, they will tell us that there is no money left, and now we got to go digital, and we've destroyed it because we didn't conform.
Absolutely. And now is the time. Now is the time to get into groups. We told you, when I was the executive director of the Line Canada, we did a whole 44 weeks of protesting at Dundas Square, Queen's Park, Montreal, etc. We told you guys this was coming. We said, you have to pick the fight. You're in the fight to keep your rights, or you're in the fight to get them back. Now, what we predicted, what we said to those audiences for weeks is now becoming true. People have to fight to reclaim their rights.
For one thing, you have to be asleep, because for one thing, they told us even 30, 40 years ago this was coming in every movie, on the radio. The rule, universal law is, all we got to do is tell, the humans what we're going to do to them, and then it's game on. They told us everything they're going to do. They tell us what they're going to do to us.
There's no question.
And then we just let them walk in and do it.
Well, I've had an email this morning from somebody who said exactly that she is astonished, flabbergasted, that people are walking around, even though this is hiding in plain sight. Everything that they're doing to us is hiding in plain sight, and people are still walking around thinking we're in a pandemic. We are not in a pandemic.
I want to tell you something.
There is no emergency.
There is enough money, there is enough water, there's enough food, but there's not enough love. And I'll tell you why, because you've been holding out on love for yourself, because you're either feeling like a sinner or a failure. I'm not a good mother, I'm not a good father, I'm not a good provider.
Shame-based.
Are we done yet?
Shame-based.
Are we done yet?
No, shame-based.
Yes.
Shame-based. It's learned. It's learned from dysfunctional families. When you're abused as a child, you carry that shame forward. You pass it back, or you'll be passing it on. Those are your two choices.
Yes.
So if you don't extricate yourself from the soil of an unloving family, you will repeat that for the rest of your life. How many people have been married 3-4 times, picking the same partner? It all starts and ends the same way. Why is that?
I don't know why I keep going out with the same girl.
It's repetition compulsion.
Yeah.
Because you have a problem.
I know I do. I know. And guess what? I got to work on that belief that I deserve more. And guess what? You're all programmed, because guess what? You don't know this, but I don't know what's going on, but we only use 10% of our brain, but most people aren't even using that. And the other 90% is your subconscious. So from 0 to 7, you know what? You are programmed, baby. You've got no filter. And then by the time you're 7, you are so programmed because you had no filter. And by the time you're 13, don't tell me it's not true, you're looking for a new family, because the family that did have you, they said there was unconditional love, and then there was conditional love. You know what? We got to get rid of the judgment society, and we got to get rid of the what? We got to get rid of judgment, and we've got to go into observation and help each other.
Well, judging and moralizing are offshoots of perfectionism.
Yeah.
I've said this before in many other interviews, like The Psychology of Lockdown, once again, with The Shift now and my producer, Doug McKenty. When you have lived in a situation where you've heard things over and over and over again, you begin to believe that that's the way things should be done. Critically questioning and updating these files and these rule books is imperative to extricating yourself from your own history, so you can be present here and in the now. You only have the power to act in the now, yet we have all these people reliving a history of trauma.
Well, you know what? And guess what? It's made us all into slaves. Believe it or not, Dr. Wolf is a slave. And I can't get totally away from it, because guess what? You've all bought into taxes are normal. You've all bought into disease is normal. You all bought into corner stores and pharmaceutical drugs. And we've all become slaves of these people. All they got to do is just do this. They know that we have never mastered our emotions, and they can trigger them anytime. Okay, so let's create panic and anxiety. They're either going to drink their face off, or they're going to need about they're going to need a toke, right? Or they're going to need Valium, or they're going to need something, or they're going to blow up and they're going to hurt somebody in the family.
Well, see, that's the other problem I have is these psychopharmacological flights into wellness give people the illusion that they're healing. So if you're on Zoloft or Surzone or Paxil or Luvox or any of this crap, this mind-altering crap, remember, you're being stifled from feeling. The only way to get out of trauma is to feel. You
That's
cannot
right.
heal what you cannot feel. And the problem with these drugs is they turn us into zombies. So people don't have access to the emotions, and therefore the history to which led them to those emotions is foreclosed actually from being healed. So you've got to embrace your history, because if you don't, you're only going to be repeating it.
You're going to be the blessing, or you're going to be the curse. Do you want to bring the family curse along with you, or do you want to become the family blessing and rewrite the story that you tell?
Okay, I want to get into this part here because I've got a lot of people calling us. A lot of you are calling us, and they're saying, I don't know what to say. You know, I'm not going to have my legal letter in time to return on the 7th, the 8th, the 13th of September, October 1st, the 6th, the 30th. They're giving you all these dates. Now, the first thing I want to tell you is you got to behave preemptively. You cannot trust what you're being told now. They keep moving the goalposts. I have all kinds of corporate employees, and with respects to all of you, thank you for those phone calls and for giving me this information to share with the rest of your friends and neighbors. The reality is they'll give you a date and they'll change it. And the reason that they're moving these goalposts is so we can't get it quite right. If you have an employer or somebody in your business or a corporation that is overzealous and you don't have your letter yet, you can simply say to them, I'm not prepared to share that information with you currently. I'm in the process of gaining new information, and I would like to get some answers before I proceed. You don't have to say with getting the vax, but understand that is what the implication is. You have every right to defend the privacy and the integrity of your personal information and never be scared to do it.
Remember something. Do you remember the time that somebody said, I want an answer right now? I want an answer right now. Okay? And somebody said that to you. Do you know what you say? I'm not prepared to give you that answer right now, and stay really calm, because that's what they use. They use the panic button. They use anxiety, and then you give them this answer. Remember something. Don't open the door. Don't open your mouth. Don't open the door. Don't open your mouth.
Well, that was just saying, and I see that to a lot of people, a lot of our members who we've spoken to. I've said everybody knows this right. Everybody knows this right. You have the right to remain
silent. But will you? No, you're going to open your mouth, because guess what? You haven't learned to find your Braveheart roar. And you ever see a lion? It lays under the tree. It doesn't get up unless it's worth it. Okay? And most people aren't worth it.
Well, when you feel worth less, it's hard to get up. You're not going to feel like it all the time, but it's hard to get up and stand up for yourself.
Yes, it is.
You can feel
And
like
God
a helpless
love you.
victim.
God
Yeah,
love you.
And we're
You were
sorry
set
about
up.
that.
You were set up.
It's not your fault.
Yeah.
It's not your fault.
You know,
Call us. We'll help you.
We're the crazy ones, because we decided to actually come to an environment that welcomes us and still has love in its heart, right? We're the crazy ones.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
you don't have to be crazy to do this, but it sure helps. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
It sure helps.
And I know I'm insane, but I'm enjoying it. You know, I can be insanely happy or insanely sad.
Well,
right
that's why
now.
we hang out with each other. I want to hear what you're going to say next.
Really?
Right. Well, I hope it's going to be good. You know. But listen, folks. Seriously, on a very serious note, if you're feeling like you're going to be attacked, and you're feeling like you're going to send you home, listen. Don't fret. There's a lot of people behind you. They don't have a right to do any of this to you. And I am proud that we have some great lawyers in our country. A big shout out to AJD Law and people like Nicholas Wansbutter and Daphne Williamson, who I'm also working with out from the Nova Scotia area. You guys are truly the Bravehearts.
Yes.
Who are stepping up. I'm sorry that there's so many lawyers that are not available right now to do these consultations. So I encourage everybody to join Canadian Rights Watch. We are definitely a sincere voice. We're in your corner, and we will continue to be. And to my staff in Canada who've been working tirelessly, Neri and Tara and Ann and everybody, I mean, you guys have been doing an astounding job. I really appreciate all your effort. And to those of you who have called in, I'm not always available, I'm sorry. It's very busy. But don't give up. Keep calling me if you haven't gotten a hold of me yet. Geez, these
I use the
bugs
same
are flying
line.
around.
Keep calling me if you can't get me. Never
Yeah.
give up.
Yeah, don't quit.
People get frustrated and they give up too easy, and we've been taught to do that. You know what? You have a God-given right to be here. And you know what? You deserve to have health, wealth, and freedom. And that's what this show is called. Health, wealth, and freedom. And George and I are going to be doing this. And we're going to be talking about your health, your wealth, and we're going to be talking about your freedom. But you're not going to give it if you don't go in there and find your authentic self, because inside of you, nobody wants to go. But if you go in here, I promise you that you're going to find that lion heart roar.
Absolutely. You just have to be willing to understand that the fear isn't something you created. You're responding to it. There's many other responses that you can be giving. And if you just simply don't know the answers, well, of course, reach out to us or reach out to somebody who can comfort your misunderstanding of things. As far as your children go, parents, please do not allow these schools to mask your children. Do not allow them to
don't let your kids go to school, because I don't know if you noticed this, but I have 4 children and understand something, right? The last 3 can't write, can't spell, and hardly can read. Thank you very much. They should have stayed with me, because I would have taught them things, real things. And I don't care if they have a diploma. Who cares? Diploma my butt. That's enough. Okay, tell me that you like what your kids are learning, and tell me how you like how your kids have so much anxiety from going to school to have to learn all this stuff that doesn't mean anything.
It's not conducive to
God,
learning.
they finish grade 12. They don't know how to love themselves, love another person. Then they end up getting someone pregnant. They don't know how to feed themselves, so they can't feed the child. And if you don't know how to love yourself, how are you going to love the child?
You can only take people where you've been. You cannot give what you have not got.
Yeah.
If I haven't driven the 401, I can't give you directions to it.
Yeah.
I got to get the knowledge.
I don't
want
to drive the 401.
Ever
I
again.
won't drive
Ever again.
I will never drive the 401.
Ever again.
No.
Folks, I'll
be Captain Flip Flop.
Okay. And you have your flip flops on right now.
I do.
So listen, I mean, okay, it's not all fun and games. Yes, I'm spending hours a day. There's no question on the phone. I got 2 cell phones going all the time, and I'm up till the wee hours of the morning. And I got to tell you, I appreciate, the concerns you guys have raised. I am eating as well as I possibly can. I've gained a bit of weight because I've been sitting for hours and hours a day, and I eat while I'm on the phone. I eat while I'm
but you got to
working.
stop that. You can't keep this pace up. Listen, anybody that gives George a call, just say, George, can you do a little bit of self-care?
Well, I have been, and I've actually had people helping me care for myself too.
Yeah, well, I can see that.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna keep at you. You do know that.
I know.
I know.
And you guys too. I appreciate the support. I really do. It's just there's so many people reaching out right now, and I know from listening to what you guys have said to me in the messages, and I really appreciate it. That I don't know who else is doing what we're doing, what Canadian Rights Watch is. I've got some more people to introduce you to that are coming on board, that are going to be our voice. There's a lot more people coming your way. We're in the process of building and growing. We've had babies, and I'm working with a lot of lawyers right now. Everyone's busy doing stuff for you guys right now. I know it doesn't look like it because mainstream's not going to be doing this, so thank God for podcast media and the people who are brave enough to bring their information forward to the world using this medium. I just think journalism is dead now. We need everybody who has the insight or the willingness to support their citizens. And if you want to work with us, feel free to reach out and let us know what you're capable of doing. We do need more people.
You mean real journalism?
Real journalism is finished, And we're going to be building American Rights Watch here shortly too, by the way, folks. I'm working with our producer, Doug McKenty from The Shift Now, we've been together for months. We've done a lot of great shows with Dr. Mark McDonald and Judy Mikovits and Mickey Willis, Dr. Tenpenny,
yes,
Dr. Kerry Madej, some incredible people who are risking it all to make sure you guys know what's actually happening in your world. So to any of you who are new to the scene or new to the lingo, new to the canvas.
Once you start feeling your personal power again, you won't give it up so easy. Once you get it back, you won't give it up so easy. And I'll tell you that right now. And, You know, it's a real shame because you came down here to this game called Planet Earth just to have a beautiful life. Well, understand something. You're not going to have it if you don't have enough self-respect for yourself to protect yourself and your family, and to know that this is not right.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So, I guess if you guys want to call us and you want to follow us and you want some more knowledge, if you want me to call your work, I'll do it. If you want me to call people who are getting in your way and you're not sure what to do, don't be afraid to reach out. No one's allowed to threaten you.
How are they going to
with
reach out to
impunity.
you?
Get us, okay, so follow us on Twitter, CRW_Rights Media. That's CRW_Rights Media. On
Okay.
Facebook
All right.
at Canadian Rights Watch. And don't forget to join Blacklisted and Whitelisted Businesses Canada. Yes, I've read your messages. Our webpage is inches away from being done. I've told many of you. So there will be a new destination for you to check out with some more information in one place about Canadian Rights Watch and what we're doing. I want to thank everybody who's been following us so far, and all of you brave people who have taken the time to reach out and get some help. Keep doing it. Pass it off to your friends. I know some of you don't even know your references have resulted in the saving of someone's job or even someone's life, but please know that your referrals do create those results. So thank you very much from all of us at Canadian Rights Watch for your support and for referring your friends and your coworkers who are also stuck in the mud.
Thank you for joining me. And
Thanks.
we will be back. I don't know when, but we'll figure that out because I just landed here 2 days ago. And if it wasn't for our friend who owns this beautiful place, we wouldn't be doing this show. Ricardo, that's right. Ricardo, come on over and say hello to everybody, okay? I want them to see the man that made it possible, okay? Yeah, come in between us here, all right? How's that? This is Ricardo, and we'll be coming back to do another show at Ricardo's place,
Sure.
okay? All right?
Anytime you want.
Thank you, sir.
I'm so proud to have you here.
Thanks, Ricardo.
Thank
I
you so
really,
much.
really appreciate it.
Yeah.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you
so you know what? We've got friends and family everywhere around the world, and that would be you. And you need to get this. That would be you, okay? We need to stay together. We need to come together. And we need
Everybody,
we need to be better.
Get those groups going. You guys have been doing a fabulous job. I've got a lot of calls with a lot of groups coming together now with the federal prison guards.
The federal prison guards, yes.
Yeah, federal corrections, the banks, the bus drivers. You
The
guys,
nurses,
the nurses, the
the
teachers,
chiropractors.
yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
Great job. We need that kind of unity. You're setting an example. Keep up the great work.
And if I can say something, for those of you who are just new on this show and you're just hearing this and you're going, I haven't heard of any of this before. Really? People are out there actually fighting? Remember something, okay? There is no real news anymore. You are not getting the real news. And understand this, just like don't go to Mexico. It's so dangerous down there. The cartels are going to get you, okay?
This is real news. This is real.
Yeah.
This is not scripted. We don't rehearse this or whatever. The Doc of Detox calls me up or I call him up. Let's do a show. We get together. We do the show.
That's
There's
it.
nothing written. I was 2 minutes late.
I think
being
they
here.
I
There's
think
no
I
time to
think they
talk.
can tell.
Yeah. That's right.
That's right.
So,
You with your phone.
This is news. Look at the shirt. That's news.
Yeah. Anyways, everybody, I'm going to be back here tomorrow, and I'm going to be doing my Ixtapa show, just talking about what we're up to, what we're doing. If you'd like to come down, take our trainings, come down for treatments, or you want to come down and get certified like those beautiful ladies behind me, okay? And just know this, all right? There's always going to be a challenge. I mean, it's a challenge sitting on the couch, isn't it? Because, yeah, you just get lazy. Or, you know what? You got to find your passion. You got to find your purpose. And understand something. Don't let them occupy your mind, okay? Take your mind back. Once you take your mind back and you decide, okay, make a list tonight. Make a list of the things that you've always wanted to do, always wanted to have, and then only focus on that and don't talk to anybody else about anything and see how the next 2 weeks is. That's how that works.
Exactly.
All right? When you're selfish enough to know what you need to learn how to love and care for yourself, you'll be able to do that for your family. I want to thank everybody for joining me, and just know this, that we're off to the beach, and we really are. God bless.
Thanks very much. Have a great day, everybody. From Canadian Rights Watch, all the best. Peace and love.
So what is a New World Practitioner? Well, a New World Practitioner is somebody that understands that training comes before treatment.
Have I noticed any changes in myself since taking this course? Oh, yes. Yes, I have. I definitely have.
There's so much more ahead of you, and there's so much more that you can find within yourself, and there's so much that you can let go of to free yourself. And I'm excited to be able to help others find their power.
It's not a treatment. It's like a restoration. You can renew your body. And I didn't understand what was preventing me from healing.
I guess this is where I kind of get emotional because Daryl truly cares, not only for himself, but humanity in general. And he wants to educate people to live their best lives and learn to love themselves first before anybody else.
The Whole Life Coach certification. We go deeper in that 8 days than anybody else goes when it comes to learning how the invisible creates the physical, the psychological creates the biological. And we teach you about energy medicine and about vibration and frequency because that's all it is.
He really cares for everybody. He wants to educate as many people as he can, their own healers / practitioners. He wants to get the knowledge out.
Dr. Wolf and the whole crew, Sage and his bodywork techniques, learning it, everybody here has just been so incredible. They're so supportive. It's been a really cool experience.
I've seen nothing but incredible results day after day, hour by hour, while they work on people who get finally the effect and result that they've looked for everywhere else and never got. So they're amazing, amazing.
On a daily thing, I'm becoming more flexible and more pain-free. It's a process of treatments because of the damage I've done to my body. But yeah, I expect to be doing backflips. You know, I'm 64 years old. I'll be doing backflips.
When it comes to the Wolf non-surgical certification, nobody can pull fibroids apart or reverse joint, muscle, tendon, ligament problems or scar tissue from surgery quicker than we can. And we offer a money-back guarantee to all our patients. Now, why would we do that? Because we pull off the I am possible and we reverse the irreversible.
They're so professional, yet so fun. They know how to push you to your limit. They encourage you, so it's all positive training, and really every one of them has a piece that they offer to the business, and they don't miss things. They let you go to the next level.
To use my love and light to be in service of others, and that's part of healing, right? Where as my elbow is connecting to that skin, you know, I'm delivering my frequency to the person that's seeking that work, you know, because I will always have that love and light inside me.
And a New World Practitioner understands that you can't give what you're not. So until you understand that unconditional love and care for oneself is what you need to become so that you can give that to your patients, don't expect a different outcome than every other practitioner out there. And that's what we teach here, because you need to become what you want to see in all of your patients. G'day, I'm Dr. Darrell Wolf. Do you know why you or your friends or your family are struggling with their health? Well, because they've never been given a strategy. And every time they go to see a health practitioner, whether it's medical or natural, all they're doing is getting Band-Aids. What if we were able to create a strategy that you could create the perfect day from the minute you woke up until you went to bed, and then we continue to guide and support you along your journey as you grow, your program grows. And what if you only paid one price, and you had unlimited support and guidance for the rest of your life? That's called the Perfect Day Consultation. So what is a New World Practitioner? Well, a New World Practitioner is somebody that understands that training